Happy Thursday, everybody. I hope you are enjoying your morning and waking up, at least here in Wichita, to really beautiful weather. And I'm just grateful for the sounds of nature, even though that's usually geese honking in the background, because we have some geese nest over here outside of my window. So I've been able to hear their chorus this morning, and it's kind of been this I don't know, I've been able to enjoy it, even though sometimes I've not enjoyed it as much. So keeping it real with that. But today, what I wanted to talk about was a topic that has come up with some of my client systems throughout the week. And it's a big deal because usually people get really stuck in their old mindsets or in trauma or in fear when they have to make big decisions in their life. And that's actually the worst time for us to make decisions from a place of trauma or fear. And it's incredibly important that we're able to make decisions from a place that is as much ourselves as possible, or our true healthy selves. And one of the big things that I think people miss is sometimes when they're making big decisions as far as where they're going to go in their career, who they're dating, some of those big life changing decisions, or how they're going to parent even, the biggest part of it is that we want to ensure that we are not making decisions based on reacting against our previous trauma or other people. Because when we make decisions that are reacting against that stuff, or trying to prove people wrong, or trying to do it the opposite of somebody because they hurt us, that actually ends up leaving us doing things in a way that isn't actually authentic to ourselves. So for instance, a good example of this is the parent who maybe had very restrictive, overly rigid parents who then decides, okay, as far as how I'm going to raise my kids, I'm going to let them do whatever they want. And they can have no boundaries and, get all the candy at the store. And they kind of go to that extreme as a reaction against how they grew up. And another example would be, taking a job position if we felt like doing that would stick it to people that didn't believe in us, or maybe didn't support us or show us kudos, like as a means of trying to prove to them, hey, look, I can get this job, and look, you discredited me, right? But that's still making a decision and reaction against something, instead of moving really toward ourselves and what we truly want. I think it's so important that when we make big decisions in our lives, and I know that many of us are kind of in a waiting period, so maybe we're not making these decisions right at the moment, but when we do have to make those decisions, that we remember, where am I fearful in this decision? What are the good parts about this decision? What will I lose if I make this decision? What will I gain? And is any of this a reaction against somebody, or is this really me moving towards what I love and what is genuinely me from a healthy place and not from a scared place? Sometimes this also looks like just making a decision based on needing security, which I do want to say that at times in our lives, if we are just surviving, we are totally going to make those decisions from a place of just needing security. And that's okay. That totally is. But if we're starting to elevate out of that space of just survival, then I would caution that we definitely take our time with these big decisions and make sure we're not making them from a place of fear, right? So that we can make the decisions that are really in alignment with what is true to us and not reacting against something. As a secondary piece of this, I just want to say, it's really important that if we are making decisions out of survival mode, that we give ourselves grace, and we give our past selves grace for making decisions out of survival mode. I've had a lot of people come into my office and say things like, well, I made this bad decision, and then I did this, and it screwed me over in this way, and then I made this bad decision, and just completely, lose trust in themselves and, for lack of a better way of phrasing this, they crap on their previous selves for making decisions from a place of fear and survival. And we've all been there. We've all had to do that. And it doesn't help us to be losing trust in ourselves, and it doesn't help us to think about all the ways we made wrong decisions, and I put this in quotation marks, because often those wrong decisions were necessary too. And we were different people at that time, and we were doing the best we could with the way that our body was hormonally helping us or not helping us based on being in survival mode. So to give your previous self grace, and to give yourself grace now, that if you're making decisions from that fearful place or survival mode, it's okay. You're not going to get it right every single time. None of us do. And the beauty of being human is that we are able to learn from those mistakes and give ourselves grace for making decisions based in fear. Now, if we have the opportunity moving forward to do it from a place that is healthy and from what we want to chase after versus reacting against, like I talked about before, or a place of fear, that's always the best route if we are in that space. I hope you guys are having an awesome Thursday. I feel so blessed and honored to just be able to talk with you guys today and to be able to learn from my clients weekly. I mean, they teach me a ton, so this is such a cool profession to be in. They help me just as much as I help them, honestly, so it's such a cool, neat thing. I'm honored to share the things that I've learned and the things I'm honestly still learning now with you. So have a wonderful Thursday. Have grace with yourself, and try to make sure that if you're making any big decisions right now, that you're doing it from a place of calm and from a place of what you truly want, and not just to stick it to other people, to react against them, or from fear. Because you've got this, and you're probably underselling yourself, honestly. Most of us do that. So I hope you find the ability to know your worth and to go out there and do awesome things. I will talk with you guys tomorrow. Have a wonderful Thursday, and be well.